Good evening, this is BelGeode and we are back with some more X-Plane 11. Howdy folks, and we are back with some more X-Plane 11, and tonight I'm feeling a little foxy. So, what we're going to be showing off tonight is going to be a couple of islands, part of a scenery package called the Fox Islands. This scenery package is by Attitude Simulations, one of my friends, Stephen McKenzie, his project, and it is gorgeous. There's not a whole heck of a lot on these islands, but for VFR flying, in particular for light aircraft or especially helicopters, this is a really cool scenery. And as if you haven't had enough foxes for one episode, we're going to be flying in this bad girl right here. This is the VSkyLabs Eurofox. It is absolutely one of my favorite aircraft to fly around in X-Plane 11. And I'm sure that you probably have not seen it that much on the series, but trust me when I tell you, off camera, I fly this one more than I fly just about any other thing. And the main reason is this is my official explore the new scenery aircraft. So I always hop in this thing, fly around, make sure everything looks great, and then I'll pick the actual aircraft that we're going to use for the episode. But I felt that the Eurofox was most appropriate for this particular episode, so we're just going to keep it a whole Fox theme here. Now, we are on the North Fox Island, which, as you can see, is pretty much set up as like a camp out spot. You've got a couple of people, their planes are over there. I don't see any of the people, though. There's no people on this island, unfortunately. There are on the other island. We'll see them later. But you can see there's a little tent there and a picnic bench, and there's a bonfire and so on. I haven't flown over here at night to see if the bonfire actually lights up, but if it does, that would be a really cool touch. What else can I really tell you about this thing? I think it is best for us to see it from the air. So yeah, we're at this little dirt strip right here, and I'm going to go ahead and get the old Eurofox fired up. Let me close our door. This is, of course, the latest version of VSkyLabs Eurofox, which now has doors that both open and close. So the link for that will be below, along with the link for Fox Island, so you can get both of them. Both of them are PAYWARE, but both of them are definitely worth it. Alright, let's close this side here. And let's get everything powered up, and then I'll use the X-Pad in a second and show you where on the map we are exactly. Alright, but first, battery on. And let's get our position lights on. Okay, I'm going to want some avionics as well, so we'll turn those on. There we go. Alright, next we want ignition. There are two ignition switches in this bird, so we'll have to flip them both on. And there is no mixture control per se with this one. However, we definitely want to make sure that we have our mixture slider up, otherwise it will choke the engine and it'll shut off. So we get our boost pump on, and I think we are just about ready for engine startup, so I'm going to open the door again. As is usually my habit, I lean out the aircraft and shout, "Clear prop!" That is a lot of dust. Holy crap. Good thing I remembered to close the doors. Sheesh. Alright, but we have a very good engine start here. We're just waiting for everything to come up. One thing I am going to do, there's this oil flap. I'm going to go ahead and open that fully because this cylinder head temperature does tend to get hot really quickly. I am going to throttle us up just a touch here, and that'll help us warm up. And of course it'll also help us generate more dust. Well, there goes my FPS. Yep. Alright, well, while we're waiting for the engine to warm up, let's just check everything else here. So our altimeter should be set currently to 29.95, which it is, so we're good to go there. There's really nothing else that we need to set on this thing. We might want to turn our transponder on, however. So there we go. We are squawking 1200, which is fine. GPS we're probably not going to need, so we'll just leave everything as is. We're literally going like 5-10 miles away, if that. But I did promise you to show you where exactly we are. So let's grab the handy dandy X-Pad. Okay. Now, what you are looking at here is a map of the Great Lakes, in particular, Lake Michigan. So right down here is the southern peninsula of Michigan, and over here is the upper peninsula of Michigan. If we were to go a little bit further west, you find the peninsula that marks Wisconsin. And it's funny because a little further west from that is actually where Oshkosh is. This is significant because the next X-Plane episode that you are going to see is going to be my annual Oshkosh Air Show episode. So stay tuned for that. But we are right here. So there we go. What we're looking at there are both of the Fox Islands. We are on the North Fox Island where this little dirt strip is. And there is the Southern Fox Island, which has a much larger airport. So we're going to be checking both of them out. First things first, we're going to take off here. We're going to take a quick look around the island. And then we will head across the channel and take another look at South Fox Island before we bring everything in. All right, let me check my engine gauges here. Yep, everything is looking good. We are about ready to fly. Since our runway is literally right there, I'm going to go ahead and turn on our landing lights and our strobe lights. So there we go. We're pretty much set to go. We will more than likely need flaps, so you'll notice over by where I've got the Oculus touch controller hanging, you'll see a flap lever. It's kind of weird in this aircraft. You've got to pull the flap lever up in order to lower the flaps. So we've got flaps 1, which should be sufficient. And let's get rid of our parking brakes. Come on, parking brakes. There we go. Okay, so let's move out. All right, and we're going to swing to the right here, and we'll line ourselves up with the center. Okay, put our brakes on. Now this is going to get interesting, folks. I know that the Eurofox, being an ultralight, is capable of taking off in some very short spaces. I'm not so sure how it's going to work getting up to speed coming up to that hump. Now, if you're a longtime viewer of this series, you probably remember the one episode that I did on I Blew Yonder's Free Heron's Nest. There is a runway there that comes to a hump in the center of it, so I'm hoping that we should get just enough speed so that by the time we get to that hump, all I need to do is just slightly pull back on the stick and we should go airborne. But the proof is in the pudding. So without further ado, folks, let's get ready to head out of here. We'll say goodbye to our fellow campers and we'll go brakes down, throttles up. Brakes off, full throttle, and we are go, go, go. There's a little bit of a crosswind here too, so that may be a problem. I love it. She just jumps into the air. Amazing. Now, the first thing that you're going to notice about the Fox Islands are the trees and the water. This is absolutely incredible. Now, I regularly use Mr. X6's HD trees just blows the pants off of them. That's just incredible. Alright, let's get our flaps up. There we go. And we're going to trim the nose down a bit. We'll take another look at the island here. I'm thinking what we will do first of all is we'll do like a little bit of a teardrop pattern. We'll buzz the airstrip that we just took off from. And then we'll take a little look around the island. I don't want to get much higher than about 2,000 feet. I think this should be just right. But there's the airstrip that we took off from, basically just carved into the middle of that forest. Amazing. Alright, let's drop our throttle down to idle. Drop our nose, build up a little bit of airspeed. And we'll go buzz the airstrip. And we'll do it from the outside. Stuff. Alright, now as we circle around the island, I want you to pay close attention to what's on the seashore. You see that, right? That is driftwood, folks. Attitude Sims has taken the time to put driftwood on the coastline. You see, it's these little details that really mean the most to me when it comes to looking for a scenery to fly around in. That is just too awesome. So yeah, all along the coastline, it looks like somebody's been doing a little bit of logging here and there. Or maybe there were some bad storms in the area that knocked down a few trees. Maybe they went out to sea, well, out to lake, I guess you would say. And then drifted back in. And there they are, just kind of chilling. That is awesome. Okay, so let's gain a little bit of altitude. We'll head to the southern tip of the island. And then we'll cross the channel and head over to South Fox Island, where I've got a lot more stuff to show you. In the meantime, let's take another look from the outside. I cannot get over those trees. I mean, I know they're not truly 3D trees, but still, the color and the definition of them, I think, is what really makes them worthwhile. I almost want to tell Attitude Sims to maybe come up with a 3D tree package that would rival something from Mr. X6. I'm pretty sure they could pull it off as well. That's just awesome. Definitely some of the most realistic trees that I have seen thus far. Alright, but we are at the southern tip of the island, so we're gonna change our course just a bit. We're gonna head towards the southern tip of South Fox Island, and my plan is I'm gonna do pretty much a clockwise circuit of the island, so that way we can take in some of the sights there are to see. And then we'll come in and land at the airport, which is also on the southern side of the island. And look at those little channels there. You can see where the shallow water meets the deep water. I'm telling you, that's the kind of stuff I like to see in scenery packages. That's what makes it worthwhile. Alright, looks like we hit a thermal here. gotta trim us again really quick. Okay. Alright, so through the magic of editing, we're gonna cross this channel really quick here, and then we'll be right back. And then we'll check out South Fox Island. Okay, so we've managed to cross the channel, and you can see directly ahead that gray spot right there. That is the airport that we're going to eventually be landing at. But first, like I said, I'm going to do a clockwise circuit of the island so you can kind of check it out. And then we'll get a little bit closer to home. Alright, so first things first, let's lose some altitude here because we are at 2,000 feet. So we'll have the nose drop. Bring her down. Alright, throttle to idle. I'm thinking I'm going to take her down to about 700 feet, roughly. Above ground level, that should be about 200 feet above ground level. But you can already start to see some of the dynamic texturing, the orthophotos and everything that this island has. Now, one of the claims to fame for this island are the horse ranches. There's actually corrals there where there are horses inside. We'll take a closer look once we do our circuit and come back around. I'll fly a little bit slower and lower so that way you can get a better look. If you are a helicopter aviator, you're probably going to want to pick this up as well because you can land in like that little area there that's got the utility buildings. You can pretty much land anywhere you want. But this island is chock full of little cubby holes, little areas where it would be great for you to test out your skills in confined area landings. There is only one helipad, which is right down there. You see that little blue square? That's your actual helipad. So you're going to want to make sure that you come in with a smaller helicopter. Alright, we are just about at 760 feet, so let me get some more throttle going here. We're going to check out the south side of the island because there's a really awesome lighthouse that I want to show you down there. One of the things that I really admire about this scenery, a lot of scenery developers will make their buildings and, you know, they'll pretty much make them look like they're brand new. You take a look at that lighthouse, it looks like it's seen better days. That is incredible. I can't even imagine the kind of time that it takes to do something like that. I've tried my hand at livery creation, but I don't think I could ever really get into, you know, some of the ins and outs of scenery such as this. This is just awesome. And look at the hills. We've got our custom mesh here as well, so the hills are accurate. Man, I would hate to roll off the side of that hill, that's for sure. Whew. In fact, if there's only one thing that I could nitpick on, it's this right here. You see that little white silhouette? You know that's a boat, basically, because it's an orthophoto, so obviously there was a boat in the picture. The only thing I would have done, or I would suggest doing, just slap a 3D boat model on there, call it done. That way you don't have to look at it. But coolest thing that I can find about this scenery, I would say that Attitude Simulation just knocked it out of the park with this one. You can tell there was some color matching done to make sure that the greens all matched up and the beach actually looks like a beach. Very cool stuff. Absolutely. Now, as we get to the northern side of South Fox Island, you're gonna see some little areas that have like grass in the middle of a forest clearing. When I first tested out the scenery, when I was first given the review copy of this scenery, one of the first things that I did was I took the Robinson R22 from Trefoil Creations and landed smack dab in the middle of there, just to kind of test out my skills, you know, getting into confined areas. That's what I was talking about. If you're a helicopter pilot, this is like one of the perfect little sceneries for you to practice that sort of thing. So yeah, you can see one of the little green areas there. There's another one right there. Got a sandy spot back there you can land in. All kinds of stuff. Now, I have to admit, I don't know too much about this area in real life. I've never been here. I've never seen it. This is my first introduction, if you will, to this area. But I kind of like it. I could really see myself flying in here and maybe camping out on North Fox Island for the weekend, probably going fishing or something. Or visiting the folks that live here on the southern island. I'm not sure how many homes there are or how many families actually live on this island, but obviously it's enough for them to want to have their own airport. And believe you me, they've got just pretty much the bare bones that you would need for an airport. But still, it's their own private airport, which I think is really cool. Okay, I'm kind of intrigued by that little area there that doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of trees. So I'm thinking, yeah, it's time for some shenanigans. Alright, let's drop our airspeed again. We're going to bring it down to the deck. And we're going to play a little game that I like to call How Low Can You Go? The objective, of course, is going to be pretty simple. Try to make it through that empty spot there where those trees are without actually hitting any trees. And just to up the ante a little bit, we're going to do it from the outside view, so I won't be able to see my instruments. Alright, let's get a little bit of airspeed going here. We'll keep the nose pointed down. It's probably going to go into the yellow, but that's okay. We'll level off shortly. Alright, and let's go to the outside view and see how low we can go. Love it. I love it. All right, let's get out of here. All right, one of the things that I like to do whenever I'm coming into a small airport is check which way the windsock is blowing. I know that we had a crosswind on takeoff, so I imagine it's probably blowing from the south. But we'll verify that in a second here. And then what I'll also do is slow us down. We'll leisurely cruise through here, and that way we can check out all the little horse corrals. And we'll go ahead and get our flaps down one notch. There we go. Of course, now I need to trim up. Alright, so there's the windsock. Yep, wind is coming out of the south. Okay, perfect. So let's trim up for about 70 miles per hour. And you can see on both sides the little corrals that I was talking about. Now I do have to state that the horses are not animated. At least they don't look like they are. But all the same, they look beautiful. And look at those buildings too. Totally incredible. I could definitely see myself hanging out in a place like this. Hey there, Mr. Ed. Alright, let's get a little airspeed and altitude here. So this is where we're going to end up parking. You can see there are a couple people there, 3 to be exact. And there's that helipad again. That's going to be our final stop for today, but what I'll do first of all is we'll make a left-hand circuit. So right here should be good. And let's swing her around. Okay, there we go. This is where we want. Alright, we're gonna float up a little bit because I trimmed us. So there we go. Look at that. All of these buildings, the corral fences, everything handmade. It really doesn't get much better than this, folks. I didn't even realize there's a little house right there. Huh. That's pretty neat. Okay, so we're getting ready to come in for a landing. What I'll do is at the end of this clearing, we'll turn around and then we'll bring her home. Start throttling her back because this bird does love to float. There we go. We'll line ourselves up on center and we're just going to float her down. Now this is a relatively long runway for this aircraft, so I'll probably take it down a little bit further before setting her down. Alright, right about here should be good. So we'll gently float her down. Little bit of flare, throttle to idle, and we're down just like that, smooth as silk. Gotta love it. Now this is a very rough runway, I've noticed, so we are going to need to throttle up a little bit here just so that we can make it all the way to the parking spot. But while we're doing that, we can get another look at the horses. Cool stuff. It's my understanding that Attitude Sims plans on doing a lot more islands around the Great Lakes region. I'm pretty sure they are working on Put-in Bay, which happens to be one of my favorite real-life places to visit. So I can't wait till they actually have that one ready, and I'll be checking that out, and of course I'll be showing it off for you guys as well. In the meantime, we're going to park ourselves here on South Fox Island, and then like I said, for the next X-Plane episode, we will be traveling to Oshkosh, where I'll be showing you some aircraft that I have not yet shown you. Alright, while I'm down, let me get my landing lights off and my strobe lights. There we go. There goes Mr. Ed again. Alright, so here is our parking spot. I will say there's not a lot of people on this island, but I'm glad that they at least put these 3 people here. Presumably a couple, and I don't know, maybe they're pilot or mechanic, or maybe just a friend. We'll check them out in a second here as we taxi off the runway. a few people there, the only inhabitants on these islands. Howdy, folks. Alright, and we are going to park right next to this helo. Make sure my wings don't clip. Okay, we're good. Alright, right here should be perfect. So, parking brakes on. And we are pretty much set to go. So, we'll start turning everything off. Position lights, avionics, and of course our engine. And we'll get the booster pumps off, the ignition off, as well as our transponder. Come on, thing. So squirrely. And finally, the battery. Alrighty, folks. So yes, here we are in South Fox Island, and that will conclude our little virtual tour of the Fox Islands for today. So I sincerely hope that you have enjoyed that. Just to remind you what you have seen, you've been seeing the Fox Islands Scenery Package by Attitude Simulation. This is a payware scenery, and it will be available on X-Aviation. That is the same website that you would get stuff like SkyMax Pro and whatnot from. So be sure to snag that up. I believe it is selling for $19.95 if I'm not too mistaken. But yeah, for all the quality that you get in here, I would say it's worth it. And our chariot for today has been the VSkyLabs Eurofox, one of my absolute favorite aircraft. So the link for that is also going to be down below, and that is also payware. Be sure to pick that up as well. You will have tons of fun, especially if you are in VR. There's just so much visibility in this aircraft. It's amazing. Alright, but that'll just about do it for me, so thank you as always for watching. This has been BelGeode. I have been flying in X-Plane 11.25, and I will be back next time around with some Oshkosh virtual airshow fun. So, if you enjoy what you've seen, please feel free to give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I will catch you on the next episode. Ciao!